Hi guys, Bolt here once again with more Steel Division Normandy 44. A new DLC arrived with new units. Now we have 4 new battle groups. Let me just guide you through those first. We have the 4th Armored and the 1st SSB Commander Brigade in the Allies, and in the Axis we have the 9th Panzer, the Fast Division with the Luftwaffe. So quite a lot of new toys to play with. We're going to talk about the Luftwaffe battle group since we did a video on that. If you want to see that, it's the video that released before this one, so check that out if you want to see a 10v10, a really fun 10v10 with me playing with this deck. I made some changes after that game to kind of quote-unquote perfect it, so yeah. Anyways, in the Recon tab you can really choose out of a lot of Recon, as you can see, but I've pretty much filled it up. In Phase A we have the Aufklärer, the 2-man squads, and the 9-man Fusilier squads. And the reason for this is I kind of like to use these guys a little bit away from the battle. You know, it's a cheap recon. You don't need to spend 9 men on, you know, just basic recon. Yeah, these guys will be more useful in a town with their AT weapons and their 9-man capability. And the Aufklärer are more just for regular recon purposes. So yeah, nice balanced recon in Phase A, and in Phase B we basically have the same thing. 5 more Aufklärer and 5 more Fusiliers and Opel Blitzes and Kubel MGs. And the UE630F MGs actually have some nice suppressive fire as well, or some HE values as well, so really good units. What you could do in Phase A is, if you don't care about like low manpower squads, I guess, you could just get more Fusiliers. Actually no, you cannot, but if you want, yeah, you can. So yeah, you can basically switch these guys out for Fusiliers and have 2 cards of Fusiliers, 3 each, so that's 6 units in Phase A. In Phase B, lots of infantry. You do need to pay attention to them though on the battlefield. They're all disheartened, so they will take a lot of suppressive damage, more than regular units. So keep that in mind. You need to micro your Fury units a lot more to keep them all, like, you know, to keep their morale up basically. In Phase A you can choose out of obviously a Führer, a lot of Jaeger. You can choose out of 2 cards of Jaeger, so you have 10 Jaegers in total, 90 Jaegers on the battlefield, all with anti-tank weapons and a wide variety of other weapons with a lot of HE damage, so really good units all around. And we also have some Pioneers here to help out with the infantry fights in towns, or basically in any CQC situation. Really good units. In Phase B we kind of have the same thing with the addition of the MG271, a 13mm machine gun, 800 meters range and 9 HE value. Really good unit. I've used it on the battlefield already, and it really does a lot of suppressing damage, I guess, if you want to call it that. So yeah, we have 8 more Jaegers, again with those anti-tank weapons, and 6 more Pioneers. And basically you can kind of fiddle around with this, what you like the most. You can go with more Jaegers, you can go with more Pioneers, but I kind of like to keep it balanced in terms of you know, all around good infantry versus anti-infantry focused infantry. In the tanks you don't really have the best of the best. You do have some Stug 3Gs, and I went with 1 card of them. What you could do is remove some recon, get more Stugs, but with this deck I focus on like urban areas. So I'm really focusing on infantry and support and air power basically. I don't really want to put a lot of points into my my tanks. You could do that though. You could just remove 1 recon, probably just remove this guy here and get more tanks, which I will actually do. Why not? Let's just go ahead and do that. Just fiddle around with it, see how it plays in the next one. I'll just get, there we go. So yeah, lots of tanks you can choose out of. You can even go with the World War I tanks, the Panzer 730MFs. Really horrible tanks. I do not recommend using these at all. 10 kilometers per hour speed. It takes like 10 minutes for these guys to, you know, get on the front line. You can basically run faster than these tanks, so it's really not good in my opinion. They could be fun to play with, I guess, but really not useful in any confrontation. Maybe like if the enemy does not have any AT, and if you actually manage to get close to infantry with this thing, you could do some, you know, some stunning damage, but that's about it. So I just went with the better units. 2 Stugs, Stug 3 F8s in Phase B. In phase C we have a BEF Stug 3, the command tank, and 6 Stug 3Gs. Now you could just remove this and put it anywhere else, the points of that, I mean. So yeah, decent amount of tanks, I guess. In the support tab, lots of support units. I have the UE630F Sikarungs, the nice little interesting vehicle. Has that 13mm machine gun on it, so it's a nice little support vehicle for infantry. Definitely want to use these on the battlefield. We have some Opal Blitz munitions in phase A, and more of those guys in phase B. And there's not really much you can choose out of. You can go for flamethrower infantry, which might be very useful in urban areas, but yeah, I'm not really, really a big fan of two-man flamethrower squads. But they are good if you really micro them nicely. So we might change it in the future and just whip some of these guys in there. But for now, I went for the STA-42s with their massive 15 HE and 1200 meters range. Really good units to basically just say, knock that shit out, get back to your base kind of unit. In the anti-tank tab, holy crap, we have a lot. We have some more support units in phase A. So these guys in combination with the Sikarungs could really change the tide in the beginning, or reverse the tide, I guess, by just basically just panicking everything the enemy throws at you in that center town, and these guys will be able to basically take everything out. It's 47mm with 5 AP and 1000 meters range, so a really useful unit. Next to that, we have a buttload of Pak 38s. We have 6, 7, 8 of those, just to be sure. Yeah, it's kind of intense the amount I have, but if you break it down in phases, in phase A we basically have 2 anti-tank guns, in phase B we have 3, and in phase C we basically went all out and got like 6 of them. But it kind of just depends on how the game goes, I guess. Speaking of AT, we have Flak 3688s, and these guys are all veteraned up. 2-star veteran units. You get 2 of them in phase A, which is just intense. I've used them in that game I did, and they just went to town. They just killed everything they fired at. So yeah, definitely get these guys in phase A, and just get some like smaller caliber AA to basically just saturate the air if a plane flies over. You could go for Flak Feelings. These are really good as well. I was hoping for the what is that, like self-propelled AA piece that you get? Whirlwinds. Yeah, if you had the Whirlwinds, the air tab would be really powerful, but I guess they kind of balanced it out this way. So yeah, Flak 88s, get these guys in phase A. We have some Flak 43s here to help them out, to scatter some shots around, to basically be the shotgun of the AA. And in phase B we have some more of these, and in phase C we have the better Flux Wheelings, the 37 mils, new unit too, really interesting unit to use, 24 HE, 2-star veteran. Like, holy crap, guys, it's kind of intense, the amount of AA in the Luftwaffe. You can go for a buttload of 88s. It's kind of overwhelming if you think about it. Look at this. You can go with 9, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 17 88s. That's nuts. In the artillery tab, you don't really have a lot to choose out of. Lots of mortars, so I went ahead and got the 80 mils in phase A. I don't like the 50 mils. The range is just not good enough. It's only 700 meters, so I just went for the 80 mils. 2 of these guys. In phase B, we went for the FK288R. Really nice range, 2600 meters with 9 HE. It can also fire at vehicles, like directly. And we also went with some howitzers, the 2600 meters range with 23 HE. So I was hoping for more like artillery focused artillery pieces, if that makes any sense, like howitzers, and not these all around big guns that can also fire at vehicles. I really was hoping for more HE focused pieces, I guess, if that makes any sense. I was hoping for shit with more bang, basically. But yeah, if you want that, you could also go for 120mm mortars, but these are really just brittle, like one shell and they're pretty much done. So yeah, it kind of depends. If you don't really like the amount of anti-tank I have, I guess you could switch those for some of these FK288s. Basically have you know, some artillery and AT capabilities, or you can just do what I did and have some specialized AT guns and some specialized artillery pieces. But yeah, these guys actually worked well in this combination, so it's not too bad. In the air tab, I'm gonna start with the best thing you have in this one. It is the, you thought I was going for the Storch, but it is the Ju-188s with their 2 1-ton bombs. Holy crap. 2 1-ton bombs. That's going to wreck the battlefield basically. So we have 2 of these, 2-star veterans. We have the Ju-188s with the carpet bomb loadout, the 28 50-kilogram bombs. Really just stuns the crap and just kills infantry in towns as well. So really good unit to have to basically do a push with. We have the HS-129B3, the big duck, basically gonna just wreck enemy tanks with its 16 AP and 6 accuracy. Really nice unit to have, and 1-star veteran, so it's actually even more dangerous, and the enemy will basically scatter all of their planes out as soon as you spawn this in. Next up we have the FW-190A8s, basically the only units you can use as fighters, I guess. Like the, yeah, it's well, you could use the ME-109 G2 R1s, but yeah, you don't really have designated fighters, so you do need to use your rocket planes and or light bombers to actually guard your own planes or the you know, the skies. But yeah, so these guys have 2 big rockets, 210 mils, really good at stunning pretty much everything. I mainly use them to quickly take out enemy light mortars or like AT guns. They're really good at that. They're not really that accurate, only 2 accuracy, but if they hit, it's 25 HE that is just landing right on top of them. So really good units to use, in my opinion. Now it kind of depends on what your battle or your gameplay style is, but if you want more rockets, you can swap out these guys for more rockets. But I do like having some bombs that, you know, hit most of the time. These guys drop 250 kilogram bombs, 15 HE on it. So, you know, a nice balanced loadout here. And the last unit in this deck that is one of the newest units in the game basically is the off-map plane. I've used it in my previous game. It really just takes the enemy by surprise. You can just quickly target the place with some off-map and just get the hell out. And, you know, you guys know that planes are hard to kill even with, you know, the best EA. So it is almost guaranteed to make it out unless the enemy spawns in place to take it out. But yeah, really fun unit to play with. If you guys enjoyed it, let me know down below in the comments section. The code is in the description, so if you want to check it out, copy it, import it in the game and have a go. And yeah, I will be uploading more multiplayer gameplay and more Battlegroup reviews in the future, so stay tuned.